Well, we are in the series Acts of God, and this is our Acts of God today, a sermon summary for Acts chapter 9, verses 32 to 43. And we started off the service today talking about toys that we might have regretted purchasing, or pieces of exercise equipment that kind of got put on the shelf. And we wondered what was going to happen to the early church. If Jesus is ascended to heaven and the day of Pentecost is over, was God's power, was Jesus' power still going to be on display and evident? And for that matter, the question that really concerns us is Jesus' power still at work in our world today? How does the ascended Jesus demonstrate his power today? And we said that in the story of Peter in Acts chapter 9, we see him doing a few things that reveal the power of Jesus. So we said that Jesus demonstrates his power as we listen to him. That's what Peter did. He traveled about the country, and he went to Lydda, and we'll find him later in Joppa. And in those accounts, Peter is just doing what Jesus said. In Acts chapter 1, he said, you'll be my witnesses when the Holy Spirit comes on you in Jerusalem, all Judea and Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. And so Peter is really simply just obeying the instruction and command of Jesus. And so we asked ourselves, are there specific commands of Jesus that we just want to set aside or ignore? Are we hoping that somebody else is going to do them? Or are we willing to experience and demonstrate Jesus' power as we listen to him and walk in obedience? And then secondly, we see that Jesus demonstrates his power as we imitate him. And that's what Peter does. He follows the example of Jesus in bringing healing to this man, Aeneas, who has been paralyzed for 8 years. And we also see him following the example of Jesus as he raises up Tabitha and brings her back from the dead. Both of these miracles had been done in a similar fashion by Jesus. And so the power of Jesus through Peter continued to impact lives. We said that one person, insignificant places, these are all important to Jesus, and we need to make time for them and be aware of following and imitating the example of Jesus in that. We talked about following in the steps of Jesus, just like Peter would encourage the church to in 1 Peter chapter 2. Follow in his steps. That's why we've been called. That's why Jesus suffered for us. And so we want to make sure that we continue to imitate Jesus. And so that's what Peter does. He raises up Aeneas. He brings Tabitha back from the dead. And there's a great result that takes place. People notice. Not just these individual lives that are touched and changed by the power of Jesus, but the entire community. People see and are amazed, and they come to follow Jesus. And so we have the opportunity and the call to point people to the true source of transformation, and that's only the power of Jesus. So we closed the service with these words or questions. Are there any instructions Jesus gives that you've been neglecting? And maybe he's getting your attention today, and you need to commit to listening to him. And how can you imitate Jesus today? What is one thing that you can do that would be used to demonstrate Jesus' power as you imitate him? Is he calling you to make time for someone who might be easily overlooked, or somebody who might be inconvenient, a situation or place that you don't really want to go? Maybe God is asking you to imitate Jesus by going there. And will you point someone to the source of your power and hope? The power of Jesus is still at work in our world today. It's on display, and it's amazing that he chooses to reveal his power in us as we listen to him, as we imitate him, and then as we point others to him. And that's our summary for Acts chapter 9, verse 32 to 43.